Hello, welcome to or welcome back to Fibro Life Diaries. Today I'm going to be talking about what is fibromyalgia. It's a good question. There's not a whole lot of research into it. We're getting there, there is more coming, but there's only so much that we know at this point. So according to the NHS website, because I'm in the UK, fibromyalgia, also called fibromyalgia syndrome, is a long-term condition that causes pain all over the body. So, the cause of fibromyalgia isn't known, but I'm going to read you an extract from, again, the NHS website. The exact cause of fibromyalgia is unknown, but it's thought to be related to abnormal levels of certain chemicals in the brain and changes in the way the central nervous system processes pain messages carried around the body. It's also suggested that some people are more likely to develop fibromyalgia because of genes inherited from their parents. In many cases, the condition appears to be triggered by things that are physical or emotional, like an injury, an infection, or stress. This means that fibromyalgia can be brought on by trauma, or if you have a really bad bone break. There have been cases of people developing it after having COVID. So, much as we don't really know exactly why, we do know that that is a possible reason and that it can be genetic. So, if you think you might have it, take a look back in your family tree, a look back in your own medical history, and see if there's either of those. Now, it's not always caused by these things, so it's definitely worth having a proper look into it. So, who is affected by fibromyalgia? Who can get it? Long story short, anyone can get it at any age, and it's more common than you think. Long story long, this is what the NHS say. Anyone can develop fibromyalgia. It's more common in women than men. The condition typically develops between the ages of 25 and 55, but people of any age can get it, including children and older people. It's not exactly clear how many people are affected by fibromyalgia, although research has suggested that it could be a relatively common condition. Some estimates suggest nearly 1 in 20 people may be affected by fibromyalgia to some degree. One of the main reasons it's not clear how many people are affected is because fibromyalgia can be a difficult condition to diagnose. There's no specific test for the condition, and the symptoms can be similar to a number of other conditions. So what that last bit means is they can't do a blood test or a CT scan and see fibromyalgia. So the way they'll generally do it is they'll test you for different forms of arthritis, Ehlers-Danlos, various other chronic pain conditions. And if all of those come up negative, then they'll say, yeah, it's likely that you have fibromyalgia. So yeah, I had blood tests, x-rays, I had an ultrasound at one point, and eventually I said to my rheumatologist, I think it's fibromyalgia, because all these tests have come back negative, and these are the symptoms I have. And this is the things in my past that I think could have caused it. Because we're 99% sure mine has been caused by trauma, which I'll get into in my diagnosis video. So yeah, it's a difficult one to diagnose. Anyone can get it. And it's not as rare as you think. Basically, fibromyalgia's a bitch. So the symptoms of fibro. There's a whole lot. I have a chart here which is from Physiopedia, and it's got various symptoms and the percentage prevalence in people with fibro. So I won't read all of it, but I'll read sections. So you've got your muscle pain, 99%. 95% of people with fibro can have visual problems. I'm supposed to be wearing glasses right now. Mental and physical fatigue, also known as fibro fog, 85%. Stiffness in the mornings, 75%. Anxiety, 72%. Memory problems, again fibro fog, 71%, IBS, 70%, headaches, 70%, Sika syndrome, which is having dry eyes and mouth, is prevalent in around 63%. Hypersensitivity to noise, smells, and temperature, 50 to 60%. Sleep disturbances and sleep problems, 57%. Dizzy or faint rising from sit to stand, 57%. Swollen feeling soft tissue or joints, 50%. Muscle spasms, 50%. Pelvic pain, 43%. Restless leg syndrome, 30 to 60%. Auditory processing disorder, 30%. Depression, 20%. Then there's various other things like allergies, skin discoloration, and sciatica, which there's not been enough research. So basically, if you have a lot of health issues and you sat to yourself, so I was sat there going, I have all these health issues, there's no way they're not all related. And that's what started me on the path to actually researching fibromyalgia. Because since I was young, I've had migraines. I had pain, just sort of general pain, getting worse and worse. I had my vision. I had issues with sleep. I've got severe anxiety. I was always really stiff in the morning, and at 21, that's not really normal. I get brain fog a lot. My memory's not very good. I've always had dry eyes. I get faint rising, standing up too fast, but it's not POTS. I had all these issues, and we're like, right, we can't figure out what's causing all of these. And because I only ever went to the doctor about one at a time, they were never really connected together until I made that connection. So definitely something that if you think you might have it and you've got a lot of seemingly unconnected health issues, definitely worth having a look into it and speak to your GP. Hopefully you will have a GP and a rheumatologist like mine that listens. It was a really big help in my diagnosis when I could say to my doctor, look, I've been doing some research and I believe that it could be this, this, or this, and the doctor listened. Because at the end of the day, you know your body better than anyone else, especially with an invisible illness. You know how long it takes you to fall asleep. You know how much you struggle to sleep. You know where the pain is and how long it lasts and how severe it is, and you know your energy levels more than anyone else can guess. So trust yourself, trust your gut, and advocate for yourself. It's a big thing. I actually moved doctors' surgeries to find a doctor that would listen, because my original doctor was very traditional in their views and was very much, you didn't go to med school, so don't tell me how to do my job. Rather than my current GP, who's very much, well, you know your body, so tell me how it feels and what you think's wrong. And that was really important. I'm starting to talk a bit too much about my diagnosis. We'll get into that next week. But just trust yourself. And if you think you have fibro, or you think you have any other chronic condition, good luck. It can be difficult, but it's worth it to get the diagnosis. Thank you very much for watching. Leave any comments, any questions, or anything you found helpful. Subscribe. I post on here. I post a long form every week and shorter videos throughout the week. And yeah, stick around. See you later.